Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a reaction to the Little Mermaid official teaser trailer. Now, as you can see from the votes on this, so far this trailer has been getting absolutely destroyed in the down votes, and this trailer is of course been ratioed. Now, the reason why will become apparent in a minute, but let's just see the trailer and react first. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to say that the ocean looked phenomenal there. That was really good. I don't know if that's CG or real, but it looked real to me, so that was great. Loving the music, of course. I love the music from The Little Mermaid. Grew up with The Little Mermaid, so obviously this is a movie that's kind of near and dear to me. Okay, so let's keep on. All right, again, like I'm actually liking the visuals that I'm seeing here, so I think that from that aspect, this is encouraging so far. The turtles looked good. The sort of like the coral reef and everything looks pretty good. Let's see if we can go back to that. So again, that looks pretty good. The fish, turtles. I mean, this looks like a screensaver or something that you'd have on a computer or whatnot. Turtles swimming around, so yeah. That music. That music is getting me every time. Man, it gives me the chills.
Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that world.
Okay, so let me talk about this now. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. And yes, Ariel has been race swapped to Halle Bailey. We've known this for months now. This came out a while back. Halle Bailey is playing the lead, playing Ariel. Now, first of all, that song, like her singing, I mean, if that's really her, wow, she can really belt it out. Like, I'm loving that. All right, so all props to her on her singing and on being able to do that tune and do it properly. Like, it's a powerful song. I think the score for this movie was so powerful. That's why we get these chills just listening to it. So yeah, all of that, excellent. Elephant in the room though. So I'm not going to automatically hate on this movie because they've race swapped the character, but it is concerning that they will then inject a bunch of stuff into this movie and make it about a bunch of identity politics instead of just telling us the story that we already know, that's a classic, and just turning it into, sort of a live action version. Which, to be honest, I hate the live action versions of most of Disney's movies, or like the faux live action. Mulan, no, because they changed the story. They changed what it was about, and it changes the characters, which is, that's an issue that I have, because it's not like the characters needed to be fixed. The character traits don't need to be fixed. They didn't, and so and then I just can't bring myself to watch The Lion King just because it just doesn't. I love the animated, and animated is fine. I don't understand why you need a live action update. I mean, those aren't real lions, you know, because real lions don't talk. So yeah, it's just a different form of animation. It's computer generated, realistic looking animation, but that doesn't that's how is it any different than essentially the first movie, right? So I don't need to see The Lion King over again. I saw The Lion King when I was young. I've already seen it. I mean, it was a good movie then. It's still a good movie today. It doesn't need to be remade, in my opinion. Damn Pinocchio, like that, just absolutely. There's something about that. I just, it's just horrific. Watching that was horrific when I saw the trailer for that. I don't want to watch that either. So, where does this leave us? Well, look, I'm going to cut to the chase on this one. I'm going to do a whole nother video breaking down my issues with this, but let's just sum it up with this. Taking a traditional European folktale or myth or children's story or whatever you want to call it, but taking mythology, traditional European mythology, and pasting people of color over it is really, I really have an issue with it, because then you're saying, look, here's your representation. That's not a representation of people of color. That's not, if I make Ariel black, then that's not a representation. The Little Mermaid doesn't suddenly become a representation of African culture or even Black American culture. If I, make freaking Wednesday Addams, some Latino girl, Latina, it doesn't make the Addams family from the 1960s a representation of Latino culture. Does this look in any way like it's representative of Latino culture to you? Well, maybe we don't have to go that far. We could go back to, maybe we go back to the 90s movie with Raul Julia. And does that look like a representation of Latino culture now? Is that what you're going to tell me? That this movie suddenly is actually, a representation of Latino culture? Is that what this looks like to you? Now, his name aside, being Gomez, Adams Gomez is actually a surname. So, yeah, I have an issue with you saying, hey, we pasted a surname onto a guy who already has a surname. It's Adams. And as a result, he now represents Latino culture, when absolutely nothing in this movie represents Latino culture. That's, this is the media gaslighting us, telling us you had representation all along. And that's not the case. That's my issue with this. Now, there was an opportunity here, I think, to simply take a Black Mermaid tale. They exist. Those Black Mermaid tales exist. Take some modern or even historical African stories written by people who are African or Black, and then tell that story and represent their culture then by actually telling a story that is written by Black Americans or Africans or African Americans, whatever we're calling it these days. All right, but tell some use actual African culture and African storytelling and tell that actual story and create a Black Mermaid tale around that. I have no issue with that. In fact, I think that would be great. I wish they would start doing that. I wish that they would stop copying and pasting people of color over European mythology and telling us that we have representation of our culture as a result. That is bullshit. These motherfuckers are gaslighting us, and I'm fucking tired of it. But that's my thoughts on all of this stuff around The Little Mermaid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, then smash the like, subscribe, and share buttons. We are only about 10 people away from getting to a community tab, so please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.